Heads up for anyone headed southbound on the 101. There's going to be traffic for sure. What up, Roger? Just a little before 4 p.m. here, about 25 minutes before 4:20, and you can see a crowd here starting to block the freeway, 101 freeway headed south. Law enforcement is on the scene, and viewer discretion be advised. We're going to see what pops off here. See people going through the fence there. How's your day going, Roger? We're going to hang out here for a bit, so just a heads up. Grab a cold one, grab the pets, grab whatever you need. Roll one up, pack one up. And there's law enforcement there. Setting their lineup. It's highway patrol there. That's their area. And it's just you and I here, Roger. We're just hanging out here, shooting it. We got a few other cams going as well. We'll check those out in a minute, but I think this is our best shot here at the moment. ABC 7 News with the sky shot. It looks like there's possibly a fire going on as well. There's Fox 11 was just live, and they were at the scene here, but then they were headed towards the mountains, and it looked like the sky is all murky. How we talk about the pollution and everything out here. We're talking about the June gloom and all that going on, fog. But it looked like a mushroom cloud, and it looked like a fire. But then they cut the live feed from the helicopter there, so I wasn't able to tell. So there could be possibly a fire going on out here. It looked like a pretty big one too. I've been checking other news sources and haven't heard anything yet. What's up, Javier? How you doing, brother? Hopefully you're keeping away from the madness here as we roll on into the 5th day of this. Let me check some of these other cameras really quick. Yeah, no, this is our best bet here for now. John P's back. What's up, brother? Look at this. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. Look at that. Why block traffic? These people got to get home. It's traffic hour right now. So they're spilling on from one side of the freeway completely to the opposite side here. So it is going down. This is gonna start something here, I think. We do have a big road rage issue in California, so heads up. You don't want to mess with the wrong driver either. Here's CHP pulling up. Whoa, they're throwing stuff. Look at that. They're throwing stuff, folks. What was that? They're setting up with their riot gear there. Objects being thrown. Not cool. And they're definitely outnumbered, so I would be very careful. Some of the law enforcement vehicles yesterday couldn't even stop. During the weekend also couldn't stop in certain areas because, there goes the baton. Watch out. More CHP pulling up. Here they go. Looked like water bottles. Yes, it did, Saliman. Batons out. Heads up. If the crowd turns, it's not going to be pretty, let me tell you. They're still blocking southbound traffic, 101. Looks like something from a zombie movie, says Magneticus.
Zombies.
Yes, it does. And just, wow, I think there was no need to block traffic. There's no need to block the freeway. You know, people got to get home, got to get to work, got to go places, maybe emergencies even. And to block off the traffic just makes no sense. You could keep the protest over on the designated areas, right? This totally sucks. So a heads up if anyone is catching the 101 or doing any driving through the downtown area. Both sides 101 completely blocked, folks. And Ike delivering some cubes there. Gonna take a look at these other cameras really quick, see if everything else seems calm up on the street side of things, but this freeway here. All right, people starting to disperse there a bit. There they go. Still blocking traffic. And you seen what they did to those CHP vehicles that were on the freeway the other night or the other day. Completely, how many was it? Maybe like 9 vehicles, 9 CHP vehicles completely destroyed. And I hear it is popping off in different cities. I just seen a clip of Washington, D.C. Talks of New York. Is Chicago got something going on? What's up? Give me some feedback. Definitely, Javier. And here we go. Another, I don't know what's going on here. Maybe someone, CHP, probably trying to voice something to the crowd there. And I believe there's a hole in the fence there. It looks like possibly a few holes. All right, everyone's backing up now. Oh, watch out. We got someone hemmed up here. We got a hot one, boys. That's going to piss people off there. Here we go. Watch out. Oh. It's starting to pop off here, folks. Heads up. And yes, we are on duty. Sky's the Limit Smoke Shop, folks. Come on by. Say what's up if you're in the area. Things are looking good out here. Not like that. Thank goodness. Yeah, things flaring up there a bit, John. Skynet track, Carl Casey playing in the background here. We'll try and switch it up. Let's see. And I have a feeling as the sun, I would think with the sun being out, maybe the heat and stuff would really activate people, and maybe it is. Ooh, what was that? Looked like a plume of smoke out of there, out of that car. What is that? Are they shooting? It looks like they're shooting possible rounds here of non-lethal, I would imagine. Pepper balls, maybe. Heads up. Let's switch the track here. And again, we're back online here at the shop. I'm stoked about that. And which means, yeah, we could use the register, the TV's on, and we are live. When was the last time? I mean, it got crazy. Let's see. When did it? I know I wasn't here during some of the last ones that happened, Javier. But I know there was a few while I was gone. What's up, brother? Y'all hang tight.
You sound happy.
I am happy. It's Aloha Friday. And you know what that means? $6 eats at Foodland. Every Friday, Foodland's deli departments have all kinds of great takeout meals for just $6 each. Kahlua pork bowls, mini plates and bentos, sandwiches, and more.
Plus, there's great $6 deals throughout the store all day.
Check out what's up every week at foodland.com. $6 eats.
And $6 deals every Friday.
Only at Foodland.
Woo! We back. Had a customer there. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. Everyone hanging out. Everyone all right? Things get any crazier? Juggling, juggling, juggling. We juggling here. Yeah, we're working the shop and working the stream. We back. All right. Looks like the chopper's heading out. Look at all that traffic. Southbound 101 freeway, Los Angeles. Ugh, not good. Detours for sure. What's up, K Dog? Who else we got in here? I'm checking the chat. Hell's up in here. Hmm. What's up, Isaac? Just checking things out, man. Got to monitor this stuff, making sure it's not spreading. You know, it's been confined to certain areas in downtown, and been hearing about little other spots and areas, but this is the main. Are you in Cali, Isaac? What state you in, bro? Maybe I'm preaching to the choir here, but we check the other cams again. See what's going on out there. All right, here we go. Ground level. Let's see. Let's check some things out here. Yeah, no, I think this chopper shot here is our best bet. Right on, Isaac. Good for you, man. For some reason, I always thought you were out here in the West Coast. So yeah, this looks like East Coast footage here. Let's see. Chicago, actually, Illinois. Let's see. This is agenda free. Agenda free channel. Let's see. I'm trying to get the whole name of the channel here, but they have Chicago. People out in Chicago right now. BJ's with an interesting comment there.
You sound happy.
I am happy. It's Aloha Friday, and you know what that means.
Looks like one of the feeds got cut here. Let me. Oh, it's actually our Spotify that cut into commercials there. What's going on? Check. There's a big news station here. They're getting. I don't know. It looks like the cameraman was rolling on the ground or something, but. Oh, I see what's going on here. Let's loop that. So it looks like traffic's opening back up northbound, I'm going to say 101. Southbound lanes still completely closed. CHP units starting to move a bit there. I'm sure they need to open that freeway back up ASAP as we hit 420. We got customers here. I'll make this quick. We got customers, folks. I'll give you the lowdown in a second here. So yeah, looks like the southbound 101 opening up. I'm sure there's a lot of pissed people in traffic right now. Not good. Y'all take care, man. I'll let my brother know you came by. All right. So that was two guys from AT&T, and one of them came over the other day when we were having our technical issues here. I mentioned we were offline throughout the weekend, about 3-4 days. Couldn't use the register, couldn't go online like this, and so the guy comes, but I thought he was here to fix the issue, but no, he was here to sell us more stuff. And I was like, no, bro, we got this other problem here. We need to get back online. And bro wasn't around to talk to him. And 420, we're past the 420 mark here. Light him up. And he came back today with a partner. And I'm sure to try to sell us whatever it was. And we don't need any more. Oh man, it's crazy with these service providers here. Talk about this area being this black hole. They talk, and so service is like really sketchy around here, and all the service providers try to come back and give you a better deal to hop on over to there, and it's like this ping pong. We already went through that, and they try to keep us ping ponging back and forth. I'm like, no, bro. So they sent them this time with a cool hip partner. And I'm like, nah, we ain't having it. Bro ain't here. Come back later. I'll let him know you came by. Magnetico. Someone was mentioning about those Wemo or Waymo, whatever cars. Like even that little hand movement right now just activated my camera. Jeez. The ones that got torched and melted away. We got people running here. Heads up. That those are obviously, yeah, they're collecting data because they got the cameras and everything. But they said that the ones that particularly went in and got melted away during the protests or whatever you want to call riots. What are we calling this? Civil unrest? What do we label this? But anyway, whatever you want to call it, that it was picking up that data as well as like as far as the way people are acting and certain other information. Here we go. The camera looking like we're heading back to the station for a refuel. And this was the same way the Fox camera was heading back to the station. There we go. End of the stream there. Thank you. But I mentioned this big old plume of smoke in the background, and it does look hazy as heck out there. It doesn't look even smoky. So we'll have to keep an ear out. Hopefully there isn't any fire going on. So last thing we need is some more fires. And here we could hit ground level for a little bit while we're hanging out here. Boom. There we go. That's some big doggies. Poor dogs have to deal with the madness. The horses were out on patrol earlier too. They showed a big rally of the law enforcement horses. And we actually seen them the other night also. One dude got trampled up. That's one of those Fafo moments, I guess. What's up, Latchkey? Hope you're doing well, brother. Just watching the city here. They just had looks like they just opened 101 back up. It was completely blocked off southbound, and then northbound lanes got blocked off for a bit. Looks like they made a couple of arrests there on the freeway, and things are starting to move back into the city streets here. And there has been some burning of flags. I heard. I did see, like, I couldn't tell there was some stuff burning, but and I figured it was probably a flag, a U.S. flag, which, yeah, not good. Yeah, a lot of the graffiti being left behind too is just very questionable. I did listen to the president speak for a bit, and much love, Isaac. I see the message. Got the message here, bro. Appreciate that. And here we got people of all flavors out there. And this is Telemundo. Telemundo. That was the cameraman earlier. Like Telemundo cameraman looked like he was rolling on the ground or something. Maybe he was tying his shoes or something. But I was like, "Geez, bro, you're a cameraman." Something. I'm sure it was something. You wearing a Sublime shirt there, girl? Any Sublime fans up in here? Love me some Sublime. Woo! Latchkey headed to Union Station. You be careful there, brother. That's like right there. Yeah, I passed by the other day. I dropped off my niece over at Union Station before it was last week, before all this started. You can see City Hall starting to peak there. Um, yes, and hopefully, look at this guy with a balloon. How do we do the balloons? Here, we did the confetti. Oh, fireworks. We haven't seen that yet. Probably at nightfall. Is that the shark there? I think that shark dude is carrying his costume. Yeah, Latchkey, you be careful out there. I know you're solid, bro, but you know what to do. So a heads up for everyone around the city. If you got to get around, stay extra sharp and dangerous. BJ updating some information there. Yeah, Mac. Mac. What up, brother? Got brother Dist in the house. Chilling. Boom. Right here, just watching the. Yeah. Let me know if you need anything, eh? You're going to be next door? Right on. The homie Dist going to be next door at the asylum doing his thing. Probably going to be pressing some shirts. Got several people hemmed up here in zip ties. And last night I heard it was about 100 people arrested. Yes, sir. It's just us. Well, we got you guys hanging out in the chat. Thank you for coming through. What up, John? John Ayers in the house. What up? You got a vid of a grizzly taking out a minivan. Did you record that yourself? Would you like to share that? Send it on in, man. Or how do we see that? Post a link in the chat. I feel like I am a broken record. Post your links. Who's got channels? There's Gustavo. Boom. Fireman. In caliente, Gustavo. Damn, they got homeboy hemmed up right there. What were you doing, dog? Yeah, we'd like to check that grizzly footage out. And any other interesting footage anyone may have out there. You don't know what to do with it. You want to share it. You want to stay anonymous. You want us to put you on blast. Put it on blast. We could do that. I'm uploading it to your account. I don't know how that works, but okay. It was on your security cam. Wow. Awesome. Yeah, if you have trouble, I don't know how you're doing that, but yeah, you could always email me. Let's see, where is that? Right here. If you want to reach out, cal_org Bigfoot Project 420 at yahoo.com. We also, let's see, is this our Discord here? That's our Tiki Talk. Finally hit 9K on TikTok. Yes. Could we celebrate, camera? Come on. We have to do the Nixon. How did we do the balloons? Seen that dude with the big old balloon out there? Jeez. Come on, bro. You out there with balloons, protests. That just goes to show. And y'all know what we mean by these balloons. Hopefully you're up on game. Damn, lady. Like a older lady there getting in trouble. That's the Insta. Got a few recent follows over on Instagram. Much appreciated. Although we're not too active there. There's the Discord. Uh-oh. Here goes another one. Got to be careful out there, folks. What are you doing to get arrested? You should be out there not getting arrested if you're out there. It's not the idea, I don't think, but maybe for some. Saliman. Still up in here, brother? Let's catch up with the chat. Boom, perfect. Got a cougar. Whoa, let's see this. Got a cougar fighting a unseeable figure, says K-Dog. You mean like two cougars fighting at a bar? Rawr. I've seen that before. Yeah, John. It's and you know what? Thankfully, it's not. I mean, it's warm. I'm in shorts, so you know it's pretty warm out, and so it's got to be hot in that sun. Luckily, I don't know. I think due to the funk in the air is kind of blocking some of the sun rays coming in, so it's not as hot as it could be. Again, we've been talking to June gloom, fog, and sky farts, and all types of other crap in the air. What's going on, BJ? Y'all check out BJ's. BJ has a channel. I didn't see you post your link on your channel. Interesting content over there. Something a little different. There's Hillbilly Herb. He must have been busy rolling fatties. Been hiding Hillbilly Herb? Roger says 2 cougars walk in a bar. Monisha, ching ching. Cheers to you. Probably rolling them up too. I heard you earlier. Cheers to you. Cincinnati. BJ and Roger got to stop meeting like this. What's going on? Look at that. CHP armored vehicle. I didn't know that. Look at that big old horn there. Is that one of those weapons? Or is that a just big loud horn? They got to have some new tech they want to test out, right? Here they come. Get some audio here too. Let's see. Do we have audio here? Heads up, y'all. Looking teched out there, bro. Woo! John wore the fire gear for years. 95 degrees and humid. Barn fires are horrible. So what is it about the barn fires, John? Do they burn hot for some reason? Maybe the stuff in there. And shout out to our brother Kip Morrell. It's been featured recently on Flash of Beauty's channel, Bigfoot channel on YouTube. He's our fire guy. He used to do fire up on the choppers, and it's been all over the state and country, and is now retired, full-time Bigfooter now. Living the dream, baby. Kip Morrell. Yeah, check out Flash of Beauty. That was a couple weeks back. Young getting arrested here, y'all. Bummer. Blazer, of course, with a name like that, you would think wore it too for engine room fires. Training is no fun. Wow. Awesome experience under your belts, I would imagine. And actually, my queen's cousin, they did fire up in Oregon, and she's a little thing. She's smaller than I am, and I believe she also did some Cal Fire. Little tough gal there. We got customers. Let's see, what are we getting? Looks like he's getting some drinks. Let's take care of this. We'll be right back.
Stephanie. Stephanie.
See what I am? I'm losing face off. Yeah, but we need to be back by this. You know what? What's it? Oh, sorry.
We back. Anything pop off while we were gone there? Actually, I won't tell you what I just sold. It's funny. Couple of face masks. No, this guy got a couple of ski masks. I was like, all right, bro. I don't know what you're up to, but we got you could take these last two we got here. They've been sitting around for a while. Thank you for shopping at Sky's the Limit Smoke Shop. What up, Alan? Yeah, no, I'm glad that those things. We have a bunch of different face masks, also sports teams, and some of those things have been kind of hanging out here for a bit. But they do sell every once in a while, like today, and luckily, boom, got rid of the last of those. And of course, my mind's thinking like, oh, he's probably going to the protest. I don't know what he's doing, so we're not gonna go there. I What up, Richard? Do you have any masks that look like old presidents? Oh no, but we could probably get a hold of them for sure. Of course, the Nixon one. What is that movie? Heat. Remember Heat? Val Kilmer and was it Pacino was in that, and was Benicio del Toro also in that? I seen he's coming out in a new movie also. But yeah, wasn't it? No, was it Heat? No, it wasn't. Yeah, Heat. They wore masks too, president masks also. But what was the other one that? I think it was also a bank robbing movie. Might have been with like Tom Cruise and back in the day. Remember at the end they go surfing and stuff. What was that? Come on, someone knows that movie. It's on the tip of the dome here. Point Break. Yeah, there it is. Point Break, bro. Thank you for being here. Yep. BLB up in the house. There's John, got it too. Point Break. Yeah, the mass easily here. The place to go would be Hollywood Boulevard. They have the old, what is the Hollywood costume store. There's a couple of those famous ones that have been on the boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard, for a long time. And yeah, growing up, we'd get our costumes there and stuff. Oh yeah, so I just seen Benicio del Toro pass by. We just mentioned him, and he just passed by on a bus looking at me like this with his arms crossed. And I believe that's him. The new movie he's coming out in is called The Phoenician. Someone maybe fact check me on that. That was funny. I seen you, Benicio. Dr. Gonzo. Interesting connection with Dr. Gonzo. Yeah, Duke Raul Duke, Hunter Thompson, and his attorney. Oh, she don't look too happy. Kind of scary. He's high. I think he's seeing some things up in the sky there. Yeah, there's an interesting ties with protests and it's stuff having to do with this stuff. And Dr. Gonzo, there's an interesting, I had shared that YouTube video not too long ago, a few months back. And it connects with the whole like fear and loathing in Las Vegas and all that. Yeah, Dr. Gonzo, East LA. What did Dr. Gonzo do in this situation? He'd have a definite plan. What up, Woo Reezy? Derek wants to put me on the spot. He wants to see what side I'm on and what I'm. Bro, roll one up and smoke it. Smoke it hard. Watch out for bats.
This is bad country.
Where's Johnny? Johnny's behind me. Y'all know Johnny Dip. Let's see. We have not activated the camera. That's why it hasn't been following. Let's see if we can get Johnny in the picture here. Oh, Johnny. Where are you, bro?
Real quick.
He's popping out now. He was earlier. He was peeking with one eye, too, giving you the, oh, ooh. Gross. Did we just try to, no. The cameraman just like kissed that dude with that zoom.
Roadways are safe. The residents of LA and LA County are safe, as well as any guests and visitors. Today we had a large group of
that I agree with Derek.
They constitute
but yeah, no, dude, I don't want anything to go out of control here, bro. We got a 9 to 5 to go to, and I get it that yeah, people are pissed,
I'm
but
Assistant Chief Kyle, Kyle.
I think
Foster,
destroying
TER of CHP.
the city, vandalizing
You're welcome.
stuff. I mean, people got to pay for that later, right? Clean up, and I think there's nowadays with the computers and online and AI, even with AI now, I'm sure there's other ways that you could get, like you're mentioning, your point across, and very, very intelligent ways to do things. So I think this sort of stuff could be kind of almost primal. Also, yeah, that there's people behind this stuff too. You know, there's people like obviously supplying these people with things. Yeah, are they? They should be. Especially for the full moon coming up tomorrow, strawberry full moon. Strawberry. And then Friday the 13th rolling on up. Heads up. Should be something popping off. I mean, we got this going down, several other things. What else is going down while the distraction is happening? What else is happening? Is what I question, and I'm sure some of you are questioning out there. All right. Let's switch cameras here. All right. Pretty smooth transition there. Just got to pop this out. Finally, I've been having a little trouble doing that. IRT Media been getting his props, been getting out there doing his thing. Been hearing his name floating around the internet waves there. Check him out. Boots on the greasy. What up, Tyler? Hotter than two rats getting it on in a wool sock. That's hot. It's a terrible visual. I would not be flashing locks there. I'd have it wrapped up. Don't know what's floating around in that area. Oof. Yeah, we know you're known for that out there. I could only imagine humidity in Florida. It's been awful, says Derek. Ugh. I gotta go experience that. All right, let's see what's popping over. We're hanging out here too, folks. Thank you for coming through. This gives me time to also get used to navigating this. You know, this is good practice. I feel. Here we go. NBC4 LA back up on the air. Got the chopper going. Southbound 101 flowing smoothly again. Thank goodness. I bet that feels good. And a bunch of law enforcement still lined up on the side of it there, CHP, making sure that people don't go over there anymore and disrupt traffic. Northbound lanes looking like normal traffic around this time, about 5 minutes before 5 o'clock. And who's on? Anybody on tonight? You ain't got to hang out here. I know I bore some of you. See, K Cal 9 is on also. Let's check out their feed. Give me 1 second here. Pull up KCal. Uh-oh. Don't pop it yet. Hold up. All right, let's pull this up here.
National Guard like we saw yesterday. Maybe one or two in those camouflage outfits, but these are back to federal law enforcement agents. These are not National Guard members that are there. These are federal law enforcement. So, but a smaller number of them as well as they gather there, and you see another person right there with a less than lethal, going about their business today.
And Mike, we've been concentrating so much on
Here
downtown LA. Have you heard anything in Santa Ana? Anything
So
going
Michelle's
on
down there. Michelle Geely is down there.
Yes.
It was getting a little heated for a second last we checked in.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has kind of calmed down a bit down there. I'm sure we'll check in with her in a bit. I don't see any, aircraft. Like last night, they had helicopters just kind of never ending circling that area as they were trying to make sure that they had eyes from above. I don't see that up there right now. There has been a Black Hawk from Homeland Security.
Definitely,
I'll keep an ear out. Santa Ana, and they're clearing out to the north now. They came out and checked downtown out. They're not. I'm glad that
we could. So, it's all good.
It seems things are much, like that. We can much more peaceful today. This is the largest group that we know of
this channel
in downtown LA. We've not heard protests kind of break out anywhere else.
No.
And I think part of the other thing too is that we haven't seen large scale, immigration enforcement actions like we did Friday and Saturday that really sparked all of this off. Now we have heard of a couple. We know that there was one in Ventura County today, in the Oxnard area. There was also
Richard
one in the Paramount area, but they were
this doesn't happen.
Quicker. They were a little bit more low key than the ones we saw on Friday and Saturday, and didn't really give people a lot of time to get down there and protest. So while they are still happening, the FBI tweeted as much today, saying that they are still continuing the operations. They were a part of the one in Ventura County. We are not seeing them on the scales or the visibility, I would say, that we saw on Friday and Saturday, which is what really prompted kind of all of this reaction and response to everything. So here we are, 4:58 p.m., ending KCAL News at 4 o'clock. The 101 is back open after a surge of protesters made it onto the 101 freeway. CHP arresting the ones that didn't want to leave. The rest of the group has significantly diminished, and they are kind of back over near Alameda right now. This is what's remaining. You see everybody you see down here, this is all law enforcement. This is all California Highway Patrol finishing up processing the last remaining people.
But still, people could activate once the sun goes down too. Something about nighttime just brings another vibe to everything, right?
Nobody on the protester side. Everybody was compliant with what was being asked of them by the CHP officers. And now, as we get ready to join KCAL
Bro and I were having a little chat, and we just feel like, this could be
that Los Angeles County Sheriff's bus to be
the start
processed.
Of something
we'll be joining
worse,
here at 5 o'clock hour in just a few seconds.
Definitely keeping that in mind. And I don't know.
Thank you very much, Mike Rogers. We are following several breaking stories at 5 o'clock, including the 5th day of immigration protests in downtown LA.
SkyCal is live over the area right now, where officers are trying to keep protesters from getting back onto the 101 freeway. A group did block the freeway about an hour ago, but officers were able to move them off. We have live team coverage in just seconds.
Okay, we also have other breaking news tonight, and this is in Burbank. You're looking
Here we go.
at
this is that fire I was talking to you about earlier.
Just north of Bethany Road and Amherst Drive. This is near the Starlight Bowl and DeBell Golf Course. Burbank fire officials say there is an evacuation notice on Walnut Avenue above Bel Air Drive and above Bel Air Ball Field. The evacuation site is at the
evacuation notices, and there we see the hillside burning there.
All hiking trails in the area
are
also closed, including Wildwood Canyon and the Stowe Nature Center.
And there's also a brush fire near Apple Valley. The ranch fire started around 1:30 this afternoon and has grown to more than 1,500 acres. Multiple buildings are threatened, and firefighters say it is spreading quickly because of the wind. The San Bernardino County Sheriff says there are evacuation orders from Milpas Drive to High Road south of Highway 18. The evacuation site is Sitting Bull Academy.
Okay, well, now let's get back to those protests happening in downtown
All
Los
right,
Angeles
folks. A couple
on day
fires
5.
there, way out
Our
in the
Jeff
desert,
DeWin
Apple
is
Valley,
there where the 101 is
and
backed up from
Burbank.
protester and police
Evacuations up in
presence.
the hills of
Jeff.
Burbank there.
Pat and Rutabaga, as you
And
see
yeah,
right
we were
behind me, there are
correct
just
about that
dozens
earlier.
of CHP
That
officers
was about maybe an
right
hour
now.
earlier
What is
that we
happening
noticed
is
the
that
cloud of smoke
during the
from
last
Fox
hour, there was
11's
a string
chopper
of people who broke
that
through the
was
fence line
heading
right
back
here.
to the
They
station, it
got
looked like,
onto
to
this dirt
possibly
field, and then
refuel.
beyond that, they got onto the 101
And
freeway.
give me
This was
1
right
second.
before the top of the
We'll
4
be
o'clock
right back.
hour. And so we saw about 30, 40 CHP officers basically surrounded them in 360 degrees, kind of enveloped them, and then they kind of closed in their circle. We should tell you that no force was really used. There were no non-lethal munitions. There were no swinging of the batons. They simply just kind of closed in the circle. We did see one person fall down, and that person was quickly arrested. But as for the rest of the group, they were basically pushed back onto this dirt field off of the freeway. They were actually given a chance to leave. They chose not to do that, and then there was an order to disperse. Those people chose to not leave, even though they were given a chance. And so what the CHP did was the process that is known as kettling, where they basically came from this direction over here. Ollie, if you want to show the armored vehicle from CHP SWAT, there were dozens of CHP officers coming down this way. They were met with officers on this side over here. Sorry, Ollie. On this side over here, because they were already on the freeway. And then they were met with officers on that side. So right now, dozens of people have been arrested. They took out the zip ties. They locked up their hands, took down their information. They've been processed, and then they'll be loaded up onto a series of black and white buses down there, where you can see Commercial Street meets Garvey Street, and then they will be taken off. And then for more processing, you know, one of the things that the officers also need to do, in addition to maintaining people's civil rights, is to make sure that if anybody has any sort of medical condition, those are tended to as well. But, you know, we really got to really see what it takes to just arrest a group of maybe 3 or 4 dozen people. You know, it's not like in the movies where you can have a 1-to-1 ratio. Yesterday, LAPD Chief McDonald kind of explained to us that in order to just arrest one person, you need at least 2 or 3 officers, because sometimes people are very combative. They don't just give up. And certainly some suspects are bigger than others. Some police officers are bigger than others. So you can't just have 1-to-1 and expect people to be rounded up. You know, even during the course of this coverage, we'll see sometimes it takes 2 to 3 police officers just to get someone inside a police car to control them. But, you know, for about 30, 35 minutes or so, the CHP basically closed down the freeway to make sure that it was secure. And as Oliver basically pans to his left, you can see now both sides of the 101 is flowing both northbound and southbound. And for folks who may be somewhat familiar with this part of downtown LA, you know, the old Denny's is right by Piper Tech, which is where LAPD launches their helicopters, is nearby. The Metro headquarters for the subway and bus system is also near here. This is where the 101 meets the 10 freeway. Then if you go a little bit farther down, you'll meet Boral Heights, and you've got like the 3rd Street Bridge. So that's where we are right now. But now things are certainly moving a lot smoother than we saw yesterday. Earlier in the day, outside the Metropolitan Detention Center, the LAPD also called out an order of a dispersal as well. So we are seeing them, for lack of a better word, being much more proactive than we have seen in recent days. You know, if we harken back to 2020, Pat, you and I did a lot of that coverage together, and you may remember a lot of times the police department, in the observance of people's First Amendment rights, they would allow them to kind of stand around, march around, and kind of get into sort of a one-sided yelling match with police officers, and then the crowd would swell and swell and swell, and then nightfall would come and things would break out. I think in recent days, they have kind of learned from that pattern in terms of quelling things and making sure that things don't expand or multiply or enumerate.
Folks.
And so what we
Thank
have been
goodness.
seeing today is something like this was dealt with very quickly in terms of getting people off that freeway. In all honesty, it was probably 5 minutes max in terms of from the time
All right,
that
let's
people
head
got
on out of
onto the
here.
freeway to the time that they got off the
Let's finish
freeway.
this off with a nice
once
little
the police
view of
officers
Mount
got onto the
Wilson.
scene and surrounded them, it was probably a JV high school wrestling match. It was probably like
Let's
2
just make
minutes
sure before we head
of
on
a
out.
round, and it was done. Everybody
miss
was
anything,
gone. So now the language here is certainly more relaxed. But right now, what we have is just
boom. Not sure what's going on here. We're taking pictures. Anyway, boom. Yeah, it was fun hanging out with y'all here, and I'm glad I could keep you a little updated on some of the happenings out here. And we'll be praying for the planet. Let's what should we check out? Should we head out to, let's go local here. Give you all a view of Mount Wilson. So that's probably why it's extra hazy and smoky, is because of that fire. So let's see, from Mount Wilson, it's kind of off to the right a bit. I guess if we're facing this way, the camera, I would say, is kind of facing towards where the fire is, towards Burbank somewhat. I seen a little fast mover go by there. It looked like could have been a bird, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on those fires happening in Burbank, California. Now, that was a bird. And Apple Valley. Apple Valley, I think you'd call it high desert, maybe. It's a desert for sure. I remember we tried finding this rave out there once. Of course, it was called Narnia, and never found it. Funny story behind that. We'll get into that maybe some night. Rave night. We'll talk about our old raving experiences or something. Yeah, Mount Wilson here. So last time, right now, you really can't tell, but I believe these are some of the burnt areas also. All this stuff got burnt during the Eaton fire. So that little mountain ridge that we're looking at, that's all been burnt. You just really can't tell at the moment due to the visibility. But yeah, they've been moving the Mount Wilson cam about a bit. The other day, it was facing one of the, I guess, the domes of the observatory there, because there's a Mount Wilson observatory up that way also. So this is I really enjoy this footage here. And at night, usually you can see when it's facing out towards the city. There goes a chopper going by there. You see all the, which is, for a lot of people, it's not cool, the lights, but it looks pretty trippy, even when you're up on the mountain. We've been on the mountain there before, and up in those mountains is where we got that thermal footage about an hour into the mountains. In these mountains, the Angeles National Forest, San Gabriel Mountains there. And yeah, it's beautiful. Creepy, but beautiful. We're going to get back up there as soon as possible. Try to do a follow-up. We're going to do a follow-up on that therm footage. Try to pinpoint where that subject was. And if you don't know what we're talking about, check out Paranormal Paul on YouTube. We did a little live show yesterday, interview, chopping it up, talking about this thermal footage situation. And that was fun again. So thank you, Paranormal Paul. Krista for linking us up from Blondes and Booze. Yeah, salute, respect. And just a little sky watching action here too. So a couple of fires and hopefully not too much of a fire in the middle of the city later tonight. Y'all folks hang tight. Stay safe and take care. I'm gonna head on out. And again, if anything does pop off worthy of jumping back on here, I will. And we'll be checking to see who's on live next. I'll be hanging out in someone's chat. Smoke and Scan. Let's see, is he still live? Nope. Who's going on? Oh, Squatch and Holler. Squatch and Holler YouTube channel. He's on. Let's go hang out over there, y'all. Boom. We out. Come on, camera. You're supposed to. Telling you, this camera. I see why I had the video playing. All right. Outro. Boom. Here we go.